but they don't understand what the Most High wants from us, right? And what his expectations are. But I think, some of us are going to do better than others. Yeah, it's really, really something. We're almost there, you guys. I'm sorry for the delay. Shalom, Anthony Fanta. Oh, here they are. They want to get in. Okay. I don't know. The internet's tripping. Come on. We're almost there, you guys. I'm sorry for the delay. All right. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, wonderful. Hey, you know what? Again, thank you guys for your time, coming out to learn about the Most High. Yeah, well, we thank you tonight for this that you set apart for us as your children to come and to learn from your Torah. I thank you for the families that have decided to come tonight to learn from you. I thank you for those who are listening live by stream. And we thank you for the food, the clothing, and the shelter, and the mercy and compassion, and the forgiveness that you've had towards your children. We love you, and we thank you, and we praise you. Hallelujah, wah, hallelujah, wah, hallelujah, wah. All right, our Torah portion begins off this week in talking about this idea of what they call ra'eh. It's the first word that you see here in the Hebrew, okay? Ra'eh, like, hey, ra'eh. Well, what can I tell you about ra'eh? What is special about ra'eh? What's special about this word, ra'eh? Well, basically, they say that it means to behold. And that's true. And you're supposed to see. That's what it is, with your eyes. Okay? They get this idea from a bird of prey. So somebody tell me, what kind of vision does a bird of prey have to have?
(20/20) like perfect vision.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, well, they're actually better than 2020. Their sight is very keen. Okay, I mean, they have to be spot on. I mean, have you ever seen an eagle go down and fly and catch a rabbit? You know how fast he has to be. The flight has to be in order to be keen and have a keen sense of sight, and how far they can see and how much detail they must be able to see. Why is the Most High using this word that has to do with a bird of prey? Well, often we skip right over and say, behold, religiously. Behold. Let's just look at it, okay? There's several things I wanted you to see about this. Number one, it's an action, which is a verb, okay? That's all we're always going to do. And it's a very simple action. So it's nothing really special in the sense of you having to try hard to do this, okay? But obviously, it's something that you and I can do, okay? And then he gives it an IMP. Do you guys remember what an imp is, besides it being a small person on the Game of Thrones? What is an imp from a grammatical standpoint? Imperative. An imperative. An imperative is a command. So the command, this is actually a command. So our Torah portion is beginning with a command from Moshe that he received from the Most High Yah. Okay. There's also something very special right here that I want to tell you about. You see this? You see this diamond right here? You guys see that? Rivia.
Yes.
Okay. Or Ravia. Okay. And Ravia comes from the number from our Hebrew Revi'i, which is what day?
Wednesday.
Yes, it's the fourth day of the week. Okay. So this word Revi'i, Re'e, and Revia all share something in common. Okay. And the idea behind this Revi, meaning the four parts, or it could be the four corners, or it could be the four directions, which is the north, the east, the south, and the west. It could be, like I said, the four quadrants. And so that's what this diamond means. Okay. Our ancient forefathers, when they used to say the scriptures, okay, we thought that the Jews are the ones who came up with these cancellations and these markings, and that's not true. The Levites are the ones who used to sing these things, and when they would sing this one here, it's a certain type of tone too, and the tone, I think I could show it to you later. It goes down, and then this melody just kind of descends, and then it comes back up, and then it goes back down. It's a melody. Okay, so this has to do with how they sing it as well. Okay, so in essence, why is that important over this in particular word? Why do you think they're singing this word or cantalizing it with this idea of the four corners and having to do with your eyes? I'll tell you the reason why. The Most High wants us to pay attention and look in all directions. Okay, this is a command. Because if you don't do this, right? If you don't do this, see, this is crazy. When we were taught about back in the day as Christians about God, we were never told that we have a command to look and to pay attention and to use sight in order to look at something. Okay. So this is the command, and everything that you read this week is based on you having open eyes to pay attention to what the Most High said. I'm going to click on this word just so you can verify that it's behold, it's a command, and it means to see. Okay. So I want you to see this. So when you study, always look at like these words, these verbs. Okay. It comes from the Hebrew ra'ah. So there's a difference between a and ra'ah. So the verb is ra'ah, but the command is ra'eh. And that's a whole nother grammatical thing that we'll go over later, but it just means to see. It means to see. All right. And what is it that we're supposed to see this week? This is a command. What is the command? The command is I, Anoki, and Nothane. I am setting presently at that time that he was doing. He was setting before their eyes and before their faces blessing and a curse. Ukwa lala. Can you guys say ukwa lala? Somebody say it for me. Ukwa lala.
Ukwa lala.
Yeah, ukwa lala. You don't want the ukwa lala. You want. Okay, so I'm going to the baraka is a curse. I'm setting today you a ukwalala. This word right here, ukwalala, comes from the Hebrew word which has its root in these two letters right here, which is a kof and a lamed. Okay, a kof and a lamed. In English, it would be a Q, and then it would be a L. Okay, and all if you want to do to find out how to say it, you just put a Q, a and an L, qual. Okay, and a qual is not something simple, of course. In this stem, it might be though. I don't know. Let me double check before I say that. But what it's talking about, everyone, is that these letters mean something. So when he's talking about I'm setting a blessing, baraka, before I'm setting a curse, I want us to understand that the blessing is going to go with the land. Okay. And the curse means that you're going out of the land. Okay. So the kwala or the ukwalala has to do with these letters. That's the root. That's the parent of it. So the kof, Qoph, that's the name of that letter right there. Looks like a P, but it's called a kof. The kof has to do with something that is gathered, has to do with the gathering of like to light or sunlight. The lamed, as you know, has to do with a staff. Okay. And so you got the word gather, and then you also have the word staff. Okay. So is it gathering to the staff? Yes, because what it has to do with is shepherd, because the shepherd is one who's holding the staff. And that's where the sheep go to. They go to the shepherd. Okay. So what's the connection between a curse and a shepherd? Well, it's when the shepherd usually traveled, he usually carried around grains and nuts and stuff like that. And what he did was he carried around things that are very light. Okay. Very light. You know, he didn't have big things of meat with him. He didn't carry any big bags of stuff. He had to travel light. He had to eat light, you know, because he always was on the move, right? And he's always watching his sheep. So, you know, he'd have grains and berries and stuff like that he could stop to. So the idea of is to be light, meaning he's swift, because he can move real fast, because he has nothing really on him except for his staff. But also too, this lightness here, okay, can also mean that you're being treated with being light. The shepherd can treat a sheep as being something light, meaning something in his eyes that is worthless. Worthless. So you know the sheep, and what Moshe was setting before the children of Israel was a choice. That's what he was setting before them. He was setting before them a choice. And the choice is that you can have the baraka or you can have the ukulala, okay? And the blessing is going to come from the shepherd, but it also too can come from the curse can actually come from him too, okay? So the kol, okay, which is actually two, if I put a kof, a y, and a lamed, it's called kol, and that means the voice of the shepherd. Okay. If I say hakwal, you know, if I put a hay on in front of this hakwal, that means to gather the symbol. So there are all these words that come off this word call right here. Okay. Here you see the curses off of it, right? But it all has to come from the shepherd. So the shepherd is one who's doing this. If the shepherd considers you to be worthless, right, then at one point there's not going to be any reason for him to go through any extra nothing to try to save you. Once you're gone, you're gone. And some things you're just going to have to understand. So what Moshe is saying is this word ra'eh too is something that the shepherd so are always having an eye. They're always on watch. They always have their eyes open. So that's what he's telling us. And you say, well, how does that fit into, I mean, one minute you tell me that the Most High is my shepherd, and then the next minute you tell me that I need to be like the shepherd, right? Well, you have to be able to be watchful like the shepherd. You have to have your eyes open to what he's talking about. What was one of the reasons why the Egyptians didn't sit and eat with the children of Israel or the Hebrews? Do you remember?
Your voice keeps going
When
in and
Joseph
out.
was in Egypt. Oh, I'm sorry. This internet's tripping. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I heard that fine. So what was the question?
Okay. The question is, why did the Egyptians didn't want to sit and eat with the Hebrews?
Hmm. Did they think they were better than
When
them?
Joseph was, well, it's not only that they thought they better than him, they thought that being their occupation of just being Hebrew people and being shepherds were an abomination to the Egyptians. They thought being a shepherd is an abomination. They wouldn't eat with them. When Joseph told his brothers to tell Pharaoh what your occupation was, tell him this because he's going to put you in the land of Goshen. But because the Egyptians thought that being a shepherd was an abomination, they didn't want to sit and eat with them, had nothing to do with them. They thought it was disgusting to them. Okay. So when I talk about Re'eh, I'm talking about how you and I must approach and be mindful and be aware of what is before us. Okay. Before them was the blessing and the curse, which indeed is still before the children of Israel. Yah has still set before us a nothing lefanekim, a hayom this day, a baraka and a ukwalala. Okay. You're going to have the blessing if you do what he says, meaning I'll bring you back into your land. If you don't do what I'm saying, then you're going to get the ukwalala. I'm going to treat you like you're nothing. The thing that's going to call worthless is very simple, because the behold right there is a call. It's very simple. It's a very simple action. Okay. So it says this, that the blessing, if you obey, so if you obey and you do what you're told to do by following the commandments, the mitzvot of Yahweh, and you tishma'u, and you would listen and obey what he's saying, then you're going to get the barak of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I am commanding you today, right? Which just stands for us because we're reading it in hindsight, looking at what he promised them. Same words that the Most High told the children of Israel in the wilderness, and then Moshe is expounding to them, is the same words that applies to those who are not even standing there to receive the information. Okay. Up or the truth. But let's verify. I don't want you to believe, because we're not into believing anything. I want to actually show it to you and show you that you and I are obligated to listen to the words and the voice of the Most High Yah. We're obligated. Even if you weren't even standing there, you're obligated to listen to what the Most High has said. Let me see. Where is it at? Deuteronomy 27. Where am I? Nitzavim, Tovo, 29. Yep, there you go. I was correct. Chapter 29. Chapter number 29 in the book of Deuteronomy. Okay. The Most High tells us this because remember, we are the descendants of these people. Okay. So we have to be mindful about what the Most High is telling us. Chapter number 29, he says, these are the words of the covenant which Yahweh ordered to make with the people of Israel in the land of Moab, in addition Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this internet, you guys just threw me out. I'm back. Okay, so let's go back to it. What I was saying is that, can you see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, the connection is unstable. I don't know what's going on. Could it be the weather? I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it says this. These are the words of the covenant which Yahweh ordered Moshe to make with the people of Israel in the land of Moab. So there's two places. The first one is at Korev. The second one is in Moab. The first one is Korev, which has to do with the first generation. The second generation is Moab, which is the information that you and I are receiving today, right? When we're reading our Torah portion, we're getting into this covenant because that's when he's talking to them. Moshe summoned all of Israel and said to them, you saw everything Yahweh did before your eyes in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land. The great testing which you saw with your own eyes, the signs and great wonders. Nevertheless, to this day, Yahweh hasn't given you a heart to understand, which we covered before, and eyes to see or ears to hear. Okay. I led you 40 years in the desert. Neither your clothes on your body nor the shoes on your feet wore out. You didn't eat bread and you didn't drink wine or any intoxicating liquor. This was so that you can know that I am Yahweh your Elohim. That's the purpose. Okay, let me skip down. Let's go to verse 9. Therefore, observe all the words of this covenant and obey them so that you can make everything you do prosper. Verse 10, today you are standing, all of you before Yahweh your Elohim, your heads, your tribes, your leaders, your officers, and all the men of Israel, along with your little ones, your wives, and your foreigners here with you in the camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water. The purpose is that you should enter to the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim and to his oath, which Yahweh your Elohim is making with you today. Okay? So that he can establish you today for himself as a people, so that for you, he will be Elohim. And, as he said to you, and as he swore to your ancestors, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. So this is what it's about. Verse number 14. But he's talking about today. See, when he was talking to them. So when we're reading in chapter number 11, that all happened in one day. This is the same day. He says, but I'm not making this covenant and oath with you, only with you. Rather, I'm making it both with him who is standing here with us today before Yahweh Elohim, and also with him who is not here with us today. You are bound to this covenant. No matter what you and I try to do, we are bound by this covenant, and we cannot get ourselves out of it. You understand? So you were born. Can you guys see my screen? Sorry if I keep asking. This internet's tripping.
Yes.
All right. So we're bound. So when he says that I want to put this blessing, this baraka, and this wakwalala before you, you have to listen to what Yah is saying, and until you turn away from it, meaning like he says Yahweh your Elohim, but you turn, you wasartam, you mean you turn your head from this in particular direction. This is the path. A path, it is the path. I turn away from this, the direct, okay, the ha-direct. If we turn away from this way, the article is directly on it. It's not a way, it's the way. And with I'm commanding you, Ethkim, on this day, right? You turn your head from it, you refuse to be stiff-necked, and you're not going to do what he says. Then he says this, you turn from this way, this day, and you lalaketh, and you go after other gods, right? Other gods, which not you have known. Meaning to let us know, and then there's a stuma right there, meaning that that's the end of that teaching. So we should, in our teaching, we need to pause for a moment and think about what he just said. If he says, if you're walking in a different way, and if you're living in a lalaketh means that you are walking, okay, infinitively, but the walk is to actually live. It's how we live. And the way you live determines what gods you're going after. I asked the Most High this week to give me more respect for his Torah and to give me more understanding so I could be more mindful of him as our Elohim, to put into practice everything that I'm learning out of the Torah. And how I talk to my children, how do I talk to my wife, how do I talk to others, how do I operate in business, how do I deal with people? Because that determines what God you serve. I mean, I know this sounds a little redundant, but the fact is, you and I are going to be judged based on how we live our lives. And if we are claiming that Yah is a living Elohim, then we got to be careful how we live our lives, because your life is indicative of who or what God you serve. So it's not about just, I'm going to believe. Did you hear anything so far about, has anyone heard anything about belief? Has anything ever been said around here about belief, or just not doing what I said?
No, we've heard nothing about belief.
Ain't nobody heard nothing about no belief. Yah's not asking you to believe nothing. He's asking you to know what I'm saying. 29, it shall be. Listen carefully. We go right over this word and said, well, it shall be. That word is Haya. And Haya means, and we've been over this for our Torah, it means to exist. That's what it means. Okay? Something exists. Okay? That's what it means. And look what they got over it again. They got that quadrant, that Revi'i over it. I want you to always remember in what everything that I've done for you. He says, when he has Yavi'aka Yahweh brought you into the land in which you are to go there and to possess it, and he shall put, and he's going to tell them what he's going to do. A lot of us are like, well, this is not me, so no worries. I don't have to worry about this. This is for them. No, you need to listen. He says that I want you to, when you get there, I want you to put a blessing on Mount Gerizim, and I want you to put the Hakwalala on Mount Evel. Okay? That's what I want you to do. I want you, when you get across this land, I want you to go to these mountains. Gerizim is one that's supposed to be fruitful, I believe. Yes. This one here means to, I think, to be fruitful or to cut or something. I forgot the actual definition. I should look at it. But it has something to do with something growing. Okay. Gerizim. Okay. It's the north. I think it's the north side of Israel, or the northern parts of the hills of Shamaron in Israel, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's in the mountain in northern Israel. And that's all they tell you right there, right? I looked it up in our other tool, and it had to do with this idea of cutting, I believe, garaz, which means that when you go there, yeah, let me see, garaz. Yeah, to cut. I was right. So to cut off, right? So you might ask yourself, okay, well, why is one mountain to cut off and the other one's bald? The aval means that it's worthless. Okay, so the hakwalala is put on a mountain that is bald, and there's nothing that grows here. Okay, nothing grows there, but everything is cut off from here. So what he's saying again is that the blessing has to do with multiplication. And so when he brings the children of Israel into their land, they're going to be fruitful. Okay, they're going to have fruits, and they're going to have baskets of fruits, and they're going to have vegetables, and have all this kind of stuff. And you and I would look at it and say, well, we're not land, so we're not able to be fruitful. Let me ask you a question. Is that true? Can you and I be fruitful?
I think we can, to a degree.
Oh, thank you, sister. Tell us why.
Well, I mean, if we look at our lives, surely we are. I mean, the things that Yahweh allows us to have, not only material things, but the things that we hold dear and valuable, things we can't touch, like love.
Go ahead.
For our fellow man.
There you go. That's a blessing. So the Most High is saying something to us. He wants us to see something. I want you to I want you to look closer. I want you to be keen in your thinking. I want you, as the descendants of the people that went into the land, I want you to look at what I told them, because literally I'm not only talking to the people that were standing there, but I'm talking to those who are not standing there. Those who were standing there saw things from a different lens. Okay. Like we saw, they said that he didn't give them eyes to see. They don't see everything. Okay. They're missing everything. You and I, now that we don't have that blessing of the land, well, what we do have is the blessing of the Torah. We have the blessing of Yah to be able to call upon Yah's name. We have the blessing of the fellowship between one another. We have the blessing of the internet, that we can correspond with each other and make a connection. You understand? The Kuala, to be called nothing and worthless, is going to be found on this mountain. And guess what? There's 6 different tribes that are supposed to go on one mountain, and there's 6 other tribes that are supposed to go on the mountain of blessing. Now let's play a game while we have a few moments. On the Mount of Gerizim, okay, we have 6 tribes that go on this tribe, okay? And the Kuala, you got 6 tribes that are going over there. Now we're going to take a guessing game. Who do we got on here? Let me see. I want to see, who do we have? Come on. All right, we got Anthony, we got Fanta, we got Pam, we got Rivqua. 1, 2, 3. Fanta, Pam, Rivqua, Jared, and Kavika. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 people. Okay. So let's start off with Fanta and Anthony. I want you guys to tell us, who do you think, it's not, you don't have to be worried about being right or wrong. We're just going to figure it out. Who do you think that the Most High give me one tribe that's supposed to go on the blessing on Mount Gerizim? Give me the tribe. One of the tribes is supposed to go to Gerizim.
Yehuda.
Okay, who said that?
Sister Pam.
Sister Pam. Yehuda. There you go.
Say that too.
So we got Yehuda. Oh, you said it too?
But we were gonna say it. She did it. That's okay.
Okay, go ahead. So now you add, okay, you go now. Give me another one. Go ahead, Fanta. For the curse. Give me the curse now.
The curse, God.
Who? God? Yeah,
Mhm.
correct. All right, everybody's good. All right, Rivqua. Give us a blessing or the curse, one or the other. What do you choose, blessing or curse? Are you there, Rivqua? She's probably doing something. Dr. Kawika, Dr. Yared, either one of you, which one you choose, the blessing or the curse?
Lewi for the blessing.
Oh boy. Lewi, this way you. Everybody's still 100. That's awesome. All right, let's get it. You guys want to play? All right, okay. Everybody's on it. All right. Now, Anthony, Fanta, or let me say, Sister Pam, which one you want the blessing and curse, and give me the tribe on whatever side you want.
Simeon, blessing. Sure.
Shimon, yes, Shimeon, yes. All right. Anthony, Fanta, blessing or cursing?
Anthony. You want the blessing?
Huh?
Blessing.
You want the blessing? Who do you put on the blessing side?
Levi.
No, we already said that.
You never said Levi?
Yeah.
Already got that. Think about Yaakov's sons. Just think about his sons. Think about Yaakov's sons.
Reuben.
Who do you want blessing? So now you said blessing. He's gonna go over here. Reuben is gonna go to the curse side.
Okay.
All right. Blessing and cursing. Anthony, again.
Oh. Oh,
When
Anthony
you miss
again.
it, you got to answer another one. Blessing or cursing? Anthony again.
Blessing. The big
But-
blessing.
You better help your husband. You better team up.
Blessing. Go.
You want blessing. Okay, who do you want on the blessing side? Anthony. Who?
Benjamin.
Oh, yes. You got it. Yes. Benjamin. Yes.
Benjamin.
Perfect. Benjamin. Yes. Good job. All right. So we got 4 on one side on the blessing so far, and we got 2 on the curse side. All right. So who else do we have? Sister Pam, blessing or cursing?
Cursing Zebulun.
All right, you got Zebulun. Zebulun.
And on the
Okay, we got
blessing,
Zebulun over there.
on the blessing,
Yes, give
Yissachar.
me a blessing.
Yissachar.
You got Yissachar. Dr. Kawika. You got 1 left in the blessing, and you got 3 left on the curse. Which one you want?
Blessing Yosef.
Okay, blessing Yosef. Yeah. Woo! We got Yosef. Okay. Now you guys know all these other ones. So somebody give me the last 3 for the curse.
Asher.
Asher. Who else?
Naphtali.
Naphtali. Who else?
Dan. Oh, we already said we say Dan.
Reuben.
Yes, no, you got it. Perfect. Dan, bingo, you got it. There you go. All right. So listen. This is very interesting. What's the difference between one side and the other side? What do you see besides my sloppy handwriting? Who is it? Why did Most High choose Yehuda, Yosef, Lewi, Shimon, Yissachar, Benjamin, and Yosef on one side, and he puts Reuben along with all these other sons of Asher, Gad, Zebulun, and Naphtali and Dan? Why?
Why did he
Question,
put
why?
with
Why?
them?
Yeah, why did he put, tell me why you think, well, let's ask the question. Why you think he put Reuben over here
Because
on the curse side?
he slept. He slept with his father's wife.
Yes. Yeah, he slept with his father. He violated his father. Okay. So let's stop right there and think about that for a second. Okay. Also, too, when we get into the curses, which we're going to cover, I'm going to show you the reason why Reuben is what he did. Okay. What Reuben did was not, we know he slept with one of his father's wives, and he defiled his bed, but there's a clear, there's something that we sometimes we don't have a chance to go over, but we need to go over this because I think it's in First Chronicles. Yes. Chapter number, okay, there you go. Let me share it with you right quick so you can see something. All right. Oh, let me clear it. Everybody know who they are. So let's talk about it. Let me remove all this right quick for us. Clear everything out so we can see. Clear all my drawings. Okay. So let's find out why, all right, and what happened. It's one thing to say it, but also too, we need to understand. So in First Chronicles, Chronicles is the book that was written about the kings and about the families. And they give you a detailed report along with the book of Kings. Okay, so Chronicles is like the book of Kings. I think the book of Kings have 4 books, and then they divided them up. So they divided First and Second Kings, and they have First and Second Chronicles. So you'll see a lot of information in Chronicles that goes with Kings. In chapter number 5 of the book of Chronicles, along with other chapters in here, you get a family history. And they tell you some details that you don't see anywhere else. Okay. So in First Chronicles, they says that the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, he was the firstborn. Okay. He was the firstborn. But because he defiled followed his father was given sons of Joseph and the son, which is the son of Israel, though not in such a way as for him to be regarded in the genealogy as the firstborn. Okay. And then he talks about what Yehuda did. Yehuda became greater than his brothers in so much as he, as the ruler came from him, meaning the kings of Israel came out, a ruler came from him. Nevertheless, the birthright went to Joseph. So this birthright belongs to Joseph. Okay. So now we can see the reason why the Most High put Joseph and Benjamin on that side of the blessing, which also too, Joseph's name means to add or to increase. Okay. So the reason why the Most High put Joseph over there is because the birthright was going to him, and also too what his name means. His name means to increase. That's what Joseph's name, it means to add. Remember the mother when she had him, she said, may the Most High add to me, increase me, and continue to give me more children. Okay. So his name is increase. And so the idea of him being on one side of that mountain is, this pen is horrible, is because the Most High is interested in increasing Israel. I'm not going to increase your children, but I'm going to increase your food, because if I increase your children, I got to give you more food, right? So the Most High says, I'm going to put him on that side. I'm going to put Yehuda on his side because he's become greater. And that's, I'm going to use that family to bring and put and place my name in that tribe. Is because of the leadership qualities that he has. Nevertheless, the birthright is still going to Joseph. Okay. Joseph was born of Rachel, right? So in our example, what we see was, here you go. What we're seeing here is, and I could see if I can do a different share. You share clipboard. Okay. I could leave. All right. So you got the Yehuda, right? And you have Shimon. Man, this pen is tripping. Take my time because it's not working. You got Lewi, and then you got Yosef, and then you have Benjamin, and then you have Benjamin, and then you have Yissachar. Okay. All right, so check this out. I want to deal with them right quick because we only have time for that. All right, so what does Yehuda's name mean?
Praise.
Yehuda's name is praise, right? What does the name Shimon mean?
Name.
Heard. Remember the Most High. This doesn't just, I'm so sorry, you guys. This internet, when it's slow, it just doesn't allow me to write stuff properly. It's not that I can't write, it's just, he heard. Lewi means to join. Okay, Yosef means to increase. All right, and then Benjamin is my right hand. Okay, and then oh boy, you guys still there?
Yes.
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 All right, this is really good. And then last but least, Yissachar means what? What does Yissachar mean? You guys know what
Servant?
Yissachar means? Well,
Servant?
close. It's
Reward?
wages. Yes. Somebody said it. It's reward. Okay, I can't read. The pen is tripping the internet. It means reward. It means reward for your wages. Okay. So this is the reason why he wants them on that side of the mountain. Because if that mountain is supposed to be, able to be cut off, meaning things grow there. Okay. The other with the curse is nothing's growing, so it's worthless. Okay. So gerizim means to be cut off, meaning you need something to cut off. So the Most High is saying, if you do what I'm telling you, I'm going to bless the land. Okay. And these families are the ones that he sends over there because of what they represent. Okay. Meaning talking about Yah. Okay. So when we first look at the ones that he mentions first, he's going to mention Shimon first, because Shimon is older than Levi. I put Yehuda first. I shouldn't have. Should have put him third. Shimon means he heard. Then he joined himself. Then he praised, and then he increased. And then he gave the wages to the one who's on his right hand. That's us. That's what those names mean. You guys see that? It's a story. There's a story. Okay. This pen is tripping. He heard. I mean, who heard? Yah has heard. Then after Yah heard, Levi was born. That means Yah joined himself. And after he joins himself, then there was praise. After the Most High gets the praise for joining himself, then he increases. Then after he increases, he gives you the wages. And after he gives the wages, he gives the wages to the one who's the son of his right hand. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. That's beautiful. It's a story. He heard, then he joined himself, and then there was praise, then he increased, and then he gave the wages to the son of his right hand. That's the blessing. And that's what he's telling you and I. He's using them as a family to communicate with the family. I hope you guys can see that without my nasty, silly internet writing. I got to clear this out. Okay. That's what this is about. So when you look at your Torah, when you read these names and you understand, you can be able to see the message. We're thinking it's just about Judah as a man. It's not. It's about the character of that in particular tribe. They made a lot of mistakes. They weren't praising all the time. They did something in a negative way, right? So, but God gave us a message through the family to talk to us and tell us, when the time comes, I'll share with you what my intent is for the blessing. If you do what I tell you, that means that I've heard you. I hear. And after I've heard you, right, I'm going to join myself to you. And after I join myself to you, Judah, you're going to praise me. And then after you praise me, right, who's born next after Yehuda? Yissachar. Or Joseph. He was born after that. No, he was late. No, Yissachar was born for him. Yeah, Yissachar was born before him. Then he said, I'm going to join. I'm going to give you some wages, right? Because you're joined to me now. I'm going to give you wages. And then after I give you the wages, right, that you've earned, I'm going to increase you. And then you're going to be the son of my right hand. That's the blessing. Okay. And we'll never hear that from anybody else